Oh, hi everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hello, JT.
Hello. Did you see the notification that came up at the top of StreamYard as we hit
I
go
did.
live?
I did not. What did it say?
Elon bends us over again. Apparently, you need a premium account in order to stream on Twitter.
I have seen that with doing Midday Missing because I even went and looked to see what it would cost and I was going to do it. And I was like, you know what? I am not putting a dime in that mofo's pocket. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and I think that, hey, Captain, I think we can find a different place to put it.
Yeah.
I think we can find a different place. There's got to be. Yeah, I mean, we could drop it on
Oh,
Twitch. Honestly, we could put it anywhere. So
this is a perfect time thinking about Elon Musk to show my birthday shirt because
yes, everybody,
it,
take a look at the birthday shirt. Free speech.
I got to move
Oh,
away.
scoot over the other way. There you go.
Elon, don't be
Yes.
a cuntosaurus.
Right? That's all. I'll tell you what, the last week has proven the very opposite for him. So,
I know,
if you weren't
considering he's moving
convinced.
everything to Texas. Oh, Lord, help
Yeah.
us. Help
How
us. But no,
dare.
I got this from my birthday yesterday. I haven't gotten my Sparkle Puss shirt yet, but it's coming.
I believe it. Gotta
So,
have it. You gotta have
how
it.
have you been since Denver?
I know. This is not as fun.
It's not. It's much more fun. Well, I didn't take any Colorado gummies today, so I should be much better today. I do need to ship
got
you your
mine.
hot sauce. I've got yours. They've been helping me sleep.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes. Yeah, that was definitely a benefit. I really, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm missing it. I'm missing it. But
You're missing it?
you know,
Now,
or
did you
let's
get
not
all this?
pull an Addison.
Yeah, let's not. Oh, we'll have to talk about him in a minute. But did you see at the podcast thing? I got one of these for Double H.
Yes.
Do you remember we interviewed with them?
I'm sure.
But I brought it in and I gave it
Was
to
the
Double H. I
enthusiastic?
said, in case you forgot, I'm always right.
And he said, "You'll always remind me. What do I need a sticker for?"
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I will say it was wonderful being in Denver together. It
I
really was.
agree. And I think we said this on a couple of the lives, but it's nice when I can hear something. No, it's nice when people pretty much are how they are, no surprises. So that made it super fantastic.
What
You
you
get what
see
you
is what
get,
you
y'all.
get.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm wearing
This is pretty much what you get.
Mickey ears because my girlfriend gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different designs of ears to
That's
go with my
right.
collection I already have.
Because your birthday was
Yesterday.
yesterday. Yes, yesterday. Oh, good grief. Oh,
Wait, what is today? Was it yesterday or
today's
the day
Thursday.
before?
I thought it was the day before, but
It was the day before.
wrong.
It was the day before. It was the day before. I've eaten bugs today, so they ate my brain.
You and Robert Kennedy Jr. or whatever.
I did not intentionally eat bugs. It was an accident.
No.
And we're not going to talk about it.
I assumed. We're not gonna. I'm just gonna bring it up, but we're not gonna talk about it.
We're not going to talk about it. I got extra protein. We'll just say that.
In addition to everything else, if anybody is confused as to why the beard is gone, I did a murder mystery thing in the courtyard the other night, and I did not play a man at all. In fact, I played 2 women
And
in
you were
this murder
beautiful.
mystery. Oh, thanks. Here, I'll bring it up. Let's see. Can I bring it up? Save. Okay, good. You save it. That's the right thing. It was something. It was a whole new world. Let's see here. Present. There we go. There it is.
You look beautiful.
I was going for Penelope, apparently, from Criminal Minds. I wasn't. But
You look like Penelope. I think you're prettier than Penelope.
I wish I got. You stop it. You stop it. Okay, all right. That's enough of that.
I was like, okay, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I will say someone sent me a message. So they had watched our live stream, one of our quick ones we did while we were in Denver. So I had a friend message me because you were drinking coffee and I was drinking wine because you said you were tired.
Oh, yeah.
And I jokingly said I wore you out. I got asked if my pineapples needed to be turned upside down.
No, they don't.
I was like,
they do not.
Y'all are precious. I mean, I was like, yeah, you're precious. I slept. I'm sorry. That was as much excitement as there was in the bedroom.
JT turned the gay switch on.
Yeah, because you were more interested in somebody else, and I guess I shouldn't say his name out loud, Joey, for everybody to hear, who has friended you and not me. So, obviously, the feeling was mutual and not this way.
It's really funny because I had, you know how on Instagram they have those the reels and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize, because I'm brilliant, I didn't realize that when you comment on a reel, it actually sends them a DM.
It does.
So I commented on one of Ellen's reels, and I was like, "When do you rest, and how do you have time for it all?" Which, of course, is pot calling kettle black. I was like, "The world must know." she had the best answer ever. She goes, "Cocaine. Never tried it, but I'm going to start real soon."
Okay, I love that response.
Right? I was like, I should have taken some warnings about this whole true crime genre, because that's pretty much that's it. That's where you end up. You end up there, or hating the world. It's one of the two. Yes, for sure.
Yeah,
let's
not go there. Let's not do that.
No, it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess.
I will tell you, here I was in Denver and then I went to California. And I have to say that it was kind of cool to travel so much back to back. But I've discovered that I'm old and I really need sleep after
the trip back was miserable. Leaving
at
11:59 at night. You did break a shoe.
Heel, and I had to go through the airport with my shoe broken.
I mean, you had like 12 more gates.
But I did it.
Yeah, I honestly probably needed 3 days of doing nothing to recover, because 11:59 leaving, getting in at 5 something because of the time difference, because we don't time zone here, and then finally getting into Richmond at 8:30 and then driving straight to work and working till 5. And I have never hated my life more than I did at the end of that day. Thank God for Mrs. Brewcrime understanding and being fantastic about it. She was like, "Kids, I know Dad's home. He's shown you some photos. He's going to bed." So, yep.
Well, I'll tell
It
you,
was
my very first
time.
time I flew to Manila, I did that. I got off the plane after flying all of those hours, and I went straight to the call center in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I about
My
died. So,
memories. Yeah, my memories of flying are when I was younger, and I was perfectly fine on a plane for as long to get to Japan as it was, and I I, I, I would like to think I could do that now, but now I know why my dad makes so many noises when he stands up. So,
crack, crack,
it's a
crack.
regular old smorgasbord of just
It is.
yeah.
It
But
is.
here we are. We got we just right before this we met for an hour. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming. So y'all better be ready and beware. And do you want to talk about the time shift?
Yes. So to help keep everything more regulated, kind of like a bowel movement, I guess. You
Yes.
always start.
We're giving our channel fiber.
Yeah, we're giving it fiber. You always start your stuff on the top of the hour at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. So instead of True Crime and Wine Time starting at 7:30 and 8:30, we're going to move it to be at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, so that it is the same as Night Court, Hey Ho, and our new production coming out.
Yes. So there's a new thing that we're gonna be doing. It's gonna be like mini series style things, and then once that one's over, we'll move to the next one. I'm not gonna tell you too much about that just yet. And then Night Court is getting an overhaul. There's a lot that I love, and there's a lot that I want to fix. And I am the kind of person who I'm not bored with the idea, but I think it's feeling stale. And if I think it's stale, it is most assuredly stale on the other side, even if you're very nice to me. So it is, kind of at that point where I think we need to refresh. I think we need to go a little more recent. And so we're going to see what we can do with that.
Okay.
And I'll leave that at that because it's going to take me a moment, not too long, because we're going to start doing new stuff soon. But I need to kind of need to get in my head and out of my head at the same time in order to just put everything together. So
how about you get in my head?
Good things
I'll
coming.
get in your head.
Apparently I wear a dress really well. So
I'm going to just tell you, nobody wants to be in my head. Nobody wants to be in there. It's scary. But no,
it's a frightening place.
By next week, we will publish everything that we're going to be doing for August so that anybody who looks at our YouTube channel will be able to see it. The other change we made is that we are going to go back to editing these live streams to be released on the podcast apps. It appears people like the finished version that Double H does, cutting out all of our BS and all of our, all of that stuff. So we are going to go back to doing that.
Yeah. So if you like the condensed stuff, we still want you. We'd love to have you here for the other shows. But if you prefer that condensed kind of case, then definitely, subscribe to our podcast as well. But we're here too. This is where we do the live stuff. This is where you get the unscripted silliness. So, which there's still silliness on that, just less.
Well, but Double H puts it in check, and he tries really hard to make me sound intelligent and delete all of my stupid comments so that people think I'm smart.
You are. Stop it. Okay, we're gonna let's get
We're
gonna go to news. What do you think? Get on with it.
Just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles. Really, sometimes I don't watch the news.
Because we see this dude every day. I mean, every day.
I didn't make this kid pass out on my floor. People wanted to be here.
Oh, it's just like
Dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like
Customer out here, what's the best kind of firework to buy?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
Where are your parents?
Oh man. Look, we got fantastic ears for the less than fantastic news. So, question for you. What is the weirdest beauty trend that you've either taken part in or heard of?
Vampire facials.
That's right. I forgot. That is a weird one.
That is weird.
This is confusing to me, though, because it's backed by some science, but I really want to see what science. So on a recent episode of a show that I've never watched a full episode of, The Kardashians, Kim Kardashian revealed that she tried a new beauty protocol using salmon sperm.
What did she do with salmon sperm?
She got a salmon sperm facial with salmon sperm injected into her face.
Okay.
Apparently, she's not the only person to put salmon semen on her face. Sam says Sandra Bullock, but also Jennifer Aniston apparently does it. But there's this strange fascination in the world of beauty with putting sperm on somebody's face.
Does it help stimulate collagen?
I don't.
I mean,
I do. You're right.
I mean, I guess it's a modern day version of a pearl necklace, but from a salmon.
A roe necklace.
A roe necklace.
Part of the practice stems from the long-held myth that spermine, an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent found in sperm and cells in the human body, is good for the skin. However, limited research suggests there might be something to salmon sperm after all. Technically called salmon PDRN, which stands for polydeoxyribonucleotides. The fishy ingredient is extracted from the sperm cells of the salmon or salmon trout. According to the 2017 study in Frontiers in Pharmacology, the manufacturing process, quote, represents a new advancement in the pharmacotherapy and guarantees the absence of active proteins and peptides that could cause immune reactions. However, several of the study authors do declare holding patents on various therapies employing that tech. I don't
think that's for me.
To look. It's not worth it.
Do they kill? Do they kill the salmon to get the sperm out, or is there a way that they give them a fin job or something?
I have no idea.
I don't think it would be a hand job. It would be a fin job.
Fin job. So this guy, Schotter, Dr. Sophie Schotter, is an aesthetics doctor. I don't know what the fuck that means. But she said that salmon sperm is very biocompatible and it has the potential to affect impressive changes in the skin without changing the face's shape and structure. Quote, this doesn't mean, in my opinion, that it replaces other treatments, but it is an incredible adjunct, particularly for treating areas which have previously been challenging with injectables, such as the eye area. I don't. Burp.
I just pulled it up, and I'm going to just say no. I will just age somewhat gracefully without putting fish sperm on my face.
Right. That's what I gotta say about that.
I think the Kardashians are one of the first that started doing the vampire facials.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, from facials to urination, right? This next story is about astronauts. Because apparently, and we know that spacewalks can last a very long time. Very long time. And astronauts, what are they going to do? Hold it the whole time? You can't just say, Mom, I want to come inside for a second to go to the bathroom and take off your shoes. Right. They wear a diaper. Well, astronauts could ditch diapers on spacewalks thanks to a new device that lets them drink their pee.
Okay. That is not where I thought that was going. Thank you.
Ta-da! So spacewalks last up to 8 hours. MAGs, which are maximum absorbency garments, diapers, can leave astronauts physically uncomfortable and at a risk for skin irritation and infection. That checks out. They also don't recycle the water in urine. So while on their walk, astronauts must rely on a fixed supply of 0.2 gallons of water that they carry in an in-suit drinking bag. But scientists think they have a solution to this problem, a new lightweight system that can collect and purify around 1.69 fluid ounces of water from urine within a person's spacesuit and in just 5 minutes. If implemented, the system would involve astronauts wearing an undergarment that's made from a flexible compression material and lined with antimicrobial fabric. The system also includes a humidity sensor that senses urine. The sensor sits within a silicone cup beneath the wearer's genitalia. The new system's still in the okay, so here's the thing that kills me. This system is in the testing stages. If I was testing a phone, I would totally be a beta tester. I don't know if I want to be a beta tester for this. I don't want to find out. Like, who wants to be the first person to be like, hey, drink this and see if it worked?
Well,
not my thing.
There was a thing in Canada, I believe it was years ago, that there was a beauty salon type thing, a spa. I don't know what it was called back then, but women would drink their own urine, collect it, and drink it because it was supposed to help with making, their skin look younger and also reduce your food cravings. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, well, it just reduced my food cravings.
Right? It's like, did somebody also have a camera set up to watch this, like, and got something out of it afterward? Like, that doesn't make sense. Well,
I mean, if you have to drink it because you're lost in the woods somewhere and it's that or die.
Lost in the woods.
I mean,
I get it.
I would hope I'm carrying a purifying tablet to drop into it before I drink it. But I might just give up and say, let me go to sleep.
Yep. Okay. Bye, everybody. Well, listen, if salmon sperm and urine aren't good enough for you, sharks off the coast of Brazil have tested positive for cocaine. Because that's what we need. We need a sci-fi film brought to life, right?
Lucky little sharks.
They tested 13 Brazilian sharp-nosed sharks taken from the shores near Rio de Janeiro, and they found that they tested for high levels of cocaine in their muscles and liver. The concentrations were as much as 100 times higher than previously reported for other aquatic creatures. The research is the first to find the presence of cocaine in sharks. They think that it's making its way into the waters via illegal labs where the drug is manufactured or through excrement of drug users. How much excrement does an excreter excrete to get cocaine in? That's what I said. I don't. But it's a lot.
I would have thought them dumping the liquids into the water, but also when they're smuggling drugs and they like throw them out into the water in those big bulks, do they go and eat them? I would think that is more realistic than the excrements of excrements or extra.
Well, I mean, if it dissolves or whatever in the water, and then sharks filter water through their gills, I mean, you're going to filter that cocaine, right? I think. But what's really interesting is this person, Sarah Novai, who's an ecotoxicologist at Polytechnic University, told Science Magazine that the findings are, quote, very important and potentially worrying. Potentially? When does it actually get worrying?
I mean,
I don't know.
are people swimming in that water too? Because if the water, did they test the water too, or just the sharks?
It does not say that. It says that they tested the sharks. They did say that all the female sharks in the study were pregnant, but there was no, the consequences of cocaine exposure for fetuses is pretty much unknown for sharks. However, previous research has shown that drugs are likely to have similar effects on animals as they do on humans. So you got a bunch of coked out sharks just ready to go. Maybe that's why they're pregnant. It's because they're all coked out. I don't know. So yeah. And I mean, this isn't the first. Last year, chemical compounds including
Benzos.
big word, which is produced by the liver after cocaine use, were found in seawater samples collected off the south coast of England. So I don't think we actually know how much cocaine's in the water at this point.
Yeah. That is scary, because think of the fresh fish that we eat. Are we eating fish that maybe has cocaine in it?
I mean, we're eating, who knows what the hell fish that we eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
That just made
I don't
me
know.
think about a lot of things.
Yep.
Okay.
Life choices,
Life
What are you gonna do?
choices.
right? So yeah. Anyways, that's the news this go around. So you're welcome. Salmon
Thank you for
semen,
all of that.
cocaine sharks, and urination.
I mean, that's a trifecta I never thought I would have.
Correct. All right. So before we hop into the story, our cases tonight, which is financial greed and financial crimes, we want to talk a little bit about what we're drinking, or what you're drinking. I have a mixture of Buenaventura salt and lime lager and my final Buzzball, which I'm probably not going to open tonight. However, you, on the other hand, have had a wonderful experience in California and want to talk about it. And we have also a video from where you went, and we'll get more into it now. So tell us.
So went to JM Sellers, it's J&M Sellers, to meet one of the investigators who's been helping on the investigation into Chase Lackey's disappearance. And I do have a picture of her and I together, but for her safety, because she does work on a lot of human trafficking cases, I will share the picture once I put a cute little thing over her face, because we don't want to put her in danger. But we went to this Sellers winery in downtown Napa, and our waitress was loving the true crime stuff. We were talking about it. And me, you know me, plus I'd had a few. I said, well, if y'all ever want to sponsor us or give us wine, we will be happy to drink it on the show. They came over and gave me a bottle of rosé, which I am drinking.
So she had them mail me one, and I have it right. Oh, I don't.
I didn't. I was like not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. She offered me a bottle, and I was like, "Yep, I'm taking it." But one of the cool things about this winery place, they were friendly, but it also kind of had a funky music vibe to it. So some of the wineries feel very fancy, very pretentious, very la-di-da, like the one I went to where it was caviar day, so they gave us caviar. But we also spent a lot of money. So this was very like, if I lived there, I would be grabbing my friends and going there and just hanging out for hours drinking. The music was great. They were playing Madonna. They were playing some In Excess. I was loving it. So they donated this bottle to us. And I know you are going to share a video that you found for this winery, because I want everybody to go and visit their page. If you're in Napa, go and check them out. I am this weekend when my bestie's here celebrating my birthday. I'm going to see if I can buy some here locally.
Nice. Yeah, let's play this video where we meet John and Michelle, who I think are second generation owners of this. And I'm going to use this opportunity, and I'll be right back. All right, everybody, enjoy the video.
Welcome to Jam Cellars. I'm John, and this is my wife, Michelle. Together we founded Jam Cellars, where jam is actually short for John and Michelle.
And we're here at the home of Jam Cellars in downtown Napa, California, the Jam Cellars Wine and Music Studio. You might know Jam Cellars for our melt-in-your-mouth butter Chardonnay, but what we have is a whole line of other delicious, easy-to-love wines that live up to their names.
Jam Cellars started in 2009, right when the economy slowed down. Right from the very beginning, the goal was how do we produce a really high-quality wine that less than $20, that was a little irreverent and fun, and that's what came out with Jam Cabernet.
Then about a year later, when we were together with friends, someone said jokingly, "Oh, you should come out with a white wine and call it butter." And so that's exactly what we did.
It turned out we actually had some wine in tank. That was one of my little pet projects. And so we came out with 1,000 cases in 2009 was the first vintage, and did 1,000 cases in 2010. And then butter found some little seam in the universe. And today we're the number 2 selling brand, over $13, which is like blows our mind.
That's awesome.
Away. It's crazy. It's like nuts. So anyway, then we decided let's do cans, because if it's good in glass, maybe people want it in a can as well. And it's nice for the beach, it's nice for the boats. And so we came out with butter Chardonnay in a can a couple years ago, and that's the number 1 selling Chardonnay in a can, which is pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah. People kept asking if we could come out with other varietals, and so the first was butter Cabernet, and the goal is we wanted something that was very similar to the Chardonnay, just rich and smooth.
And then our butter bubbles, which is my personal favorite. So bright and creamy, and it literally goes with everything.
People love butter Chardonnay. We want to make it easy for them to identify other products that we came up with.
So you walk into the wine aisle, and you see that big yellow beacon of butter yellow labels.
A lot of people say, wow, what a natural connection. Jam Cellars, I get it. Jam Cellars and music. And I'm always like, well, it's really Jam, John and Michelle, but it also goes well with music. And so we've been presenting sponsors since 2016 with Bottle Rock, Napa Valley. That same year, we opened our downtown tasting room. We have live music here 3 days a week. And then most recently, we acquired the Napa Valley Opera House, and we have a Jam Cellars ballroom upstairs.
And then also we're doing podcasts, and we have a live Jam Happy Hour on Facebook, a radio station on iHeart called Summer Festival Jams. It plays a lot of music that's played at all the festivals that we're at, like Ohana, Bottle Rock. And it's been neat because we love music.
We can't sing, we can't play, but we like to listen to it.
Well, you can't sing.
I can't sing.
So check out our events and wine finder at jamcellars.com. So no matter where you are, in any state, you can find us in the wine aisle or get it delivered.
Michelle, I thank you for enjoying our wines. We look forward to seeing you here in the Napa Valley or one of the future concerts. Cheers.
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 She straight threw some shade.
She absolutely did. And I loved it because she did it with a smile.
Yeah. Yes, she did. She definitely did. They look so nice. They look great. I love it when you tag music with anything. I'm in 100% every single time.
They were so nice. And this rosé is good. I'm very picky. I don't like my rosé to be too dry. I also do not want it to taste like syrup. I need it kind of in the middle. I like it crisp and light, but I need it to have some flavor, because if it's too light, I can drink too much of it. This is truly perfect. Now, I'm not a Chardonnay girl. I like to tell people that I believe it's a starter wine, but it's just me. I started with Chardonnay. Hey, they sell it at Wally World. So, but I will say their Chardonnay, I tasted it. It went down so easy. It was smooth. I couldn't tell there was alcohol in it. I mean, it went down smooth. So if anybody buys it, I think we need to take pictures with it and share it with them, because I got to thinking, because they do podcast, maybe when we start planning for next year, maybe we plan some kind of meetup in Napa, and maybe they would let us use their podcasting area to host a podcast.
True crime and jam time.
Yes. See?
I'm just
And
saying, if they want to hire me,
they can pay you in wine.
I don't know if Mrs. Bruce Crime will go for that, but you never know. Who knows? She likes wine. My sangria from the other night's almost done. So, and it wasn't me.
Well, also, while I was in California, I did get away from the winery and spend some time over in San Jose. For those of you following the special investigation into Chase Lackey, we know that Chase was working on a pot farm in San Jose, and he and his friend were shipping from this postal mail place often, and we have connected that place to Denver, Texas, Chase, Addison. So I went by there and I did leave Chase's missing person flyers up on the windows. Now, I will be honest, I did it when they were closed because the investigator and the FBI person were very worried about me still being there and them seeing me and me maybe going missing. Because as we know, I am not a cute little blonde, blue-eyed white girl. Nobody would be out there looking for me. So I did do it safely. Now, I will say, I really want to know what they thought Monday when they showed up.
Who knows? Who knows? Because at a certain point, you got to think they know exactly what's going through their place.
Yeah, because I did get a message on Instagram from somebody who is connected to this, asking me what my phone number was. So it was talked about. So the talk about me doing that and being there and looking into things made it to somebody. So I will let everybody know what happens with that.
My favorite thing was you had shared with me a photo of a tattoo on somebody's hand. And it said something along the lines of, I don't care what anybody says. It just pushes me. I can get it.
I will share it. I don't know how to share my screen very well. So maybe it's better for you to do it. But yes. And we'll just be honest. Asshat, as I like to call him, also known as Addison Guerrera. Now, he has me blocked and the podcast blocked on all of his social. Imagine that. He also has the majority of people who know me are also blocked. But the investigator...
Not me!
The investigator got this and sent it to me. And I'm going to just be honest. I don't know if he really got this tattoo or if it's been photoshopped. But his social media post was absolutely hilarious. And I think it's directed towards me. And maybe that's just me being full of myself. But I really think it's directed towards me. And JT's trying to find it.
Having a second.
No, that's okay.
In 2 shakes.
So I will.
The best part, my favorite part. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say was my favorite part was when you had sent me a message and been like, "Look, I've got this photo. I put up the missing poster. What should we say?" And I was like, "Let me think about it." And then I was like, at the end of it, just put, just our 2 cents. And the reason for that is because of
this post
tattoo.
I mean, I kind of hope it's real.
Yeah.
I kind of hope he did this on his body because of me. So
But like it
I
says
will
a whole things about a lot of people have their opinions, thoughts, things to say about me. I see the comments and blah 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 blah, and your 2 cents just empowers me and shit like that.
How
Honestly,
about I
that does
read
look
it?
like a tattoo. The bleeding's impressive. Yeah. I don't have. I
I will
don't
read
have
it.
the full one.
I have it.
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of people have their opinions, thoughts, and things to say about me. I see the comments that y'all take the time to comment on all of my posts, DMs, and even people making posts about me and tagging me in them. Go ahead and put your 2 cents in my piggy bank because I actually need people like y'all to help keep me motivated. My piggy bank will always keep growing no matter how many people want to see me fail. I refuse to lose.
So we made a little snarky comment, and at the end of it, said, just our 2 cents. But like he in this post, he does tag a tattoo artist, and they
does.
must be friends because if I had the talent of this tattoo artist and somebody asked me to put a pig and 2 cents on their hand, I would laugh at them because this guy's actually a really talented portrait artist. So just super. I mean, like, I don't know if anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that?
I can. I mean, they apparently are friends, but the other thing I've got to say, he thinks we're filling up his piggy bank. Dude, keep doing this because you are just adding more and more red flags to the whole disappearance of Chase.
Yeah,
And
just be ready because when we run out of cash, we're going to start filling your piggy bank with semen sperm.
that's right. And I'm not going to tell people when or what's happening, but there will be something coming in the next couple of weeks that I will be filling his piggy bank.
Toot toot.
So, and I will say this: it will not be with salmon sperm. Just going to put that out there because I'm not doing that. Doing that. So, speaking of salmon sperm, real quick, I just thought about this article that I read today that has me really confused. So
I am too now.
There is a married couple that have 2 daughters. They decided, her husband made the decision that he would get a vasectomy so that they wouldn't have any more children and grow their family. 6 months afterwards, he went and got tested, no sperm. She came out pregnant. They're a solid couple. Never was there a thought that she cheated. They went to doctors. They have spent all of this money trying to find out. They even did a DNA test on the baby. It's his baby, but he is still testing negative for sperm.
Well, I would like to run those tests through some tests because I'm going to go ahead and say they're wrong.
He's gone to multiple places to have it tested.
I mean, does it only look for a certain level and anything lower, they just call it nil?
I don't know, but I have to tell you, that husband sounds like a keeper because even Double H would have been like, excuse me, where have you been? I mean, it would have been a fleeting comment. He wouldn't have, but a lot of men would have lost their shit over that. Your wife's pregnant and the doctor told you you got no sperm. What other logical conclusion would you draw? Was it the salmon?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I would think about a billion other things before I hop to that. I mean, would I think about that? Sure, for a moment. But at the same time, there are so many things that can go wrong with those tests and also that procedure, et cetera, et cetera. So,
But, I mean, if you... a little bit dripped in her mouth, I guess. Anyway.
We should talk about financial crimes before I have to go through another training.
We should. Why don't you kick us off since yours is the most famous of the cases?
Oh, it's definitely famous, infamous. So for financial crimes tonight, I'm going to be talking about Enron. because why not, everybody? Why not? So we're going to talk about Enron, its kind of beginnings, where it came from, some of the key players, and then what happened. And then we'll move on to yours. This is a little bit longer than usual, but I think it'll go in a reasonable pace. So Enron Corporation's journey from a pioneering energy company to an emblem of corporate fraud is one of the most infamous chapters in business history. At its peak, Enron was a titan of innovation and a darling of Wall Street, but its collapse exposed systemic fraud and triggered widespread regulatory reforms. This report delves into Enron's case. We talk about fraudulent practices, legal battles. It's going to be fun. So, Enron was founded in 1985 through a merger between two companies, one, the Houston Natural Gas Company, and InterNorth Incorporated. Kenneth Lay, who had been the CEO of Houston Natural Gas, took the helm of the newly formed company. Under Lay's leadership, Enron aimed to transform from a traditional energy company into a diversified global corporation. In terms of the two companies that formed, the two companies that created Enron or came together, InterNorth was formed in 1930 in Omaha, Nebraska, right before this. This could not get more like murky in terms of like gross, but they formed right before Black Tuesday. And so the low cost of natural gas and then the cheap supply of labor during the Great Depression helped them thrive and double their size in 2 years during the Depression.
Mm-hmm. Perfect
most
timing.
of their acquisitions were...
I said, would you call that perfect timing or sketchy timing?
I mean, I don't think they knew that it was... Well, they might have known it was coming, but I think they were just lucky. So let's see. Most of their acquisitions of other companies were successful. A subsidiary, Northern Natural Gas, operated the largest pipeline company in North America. By the 1980s, InterNorth became a major force for natural gas production, transmission, and marketing, along with natural gas liquids, and was an innovator in plastics. They eventually merged with Belco Petroleum Company, which was a Fortune 500 oil exploration and development company. So that was one. Houston Natural Gas was two, and that was formed from Houston Oil Co. in 1925 to provide gas to customers in the Houston market through the building of gas pipelines. Robert Herring, CEO from 67 to 81, took advantage of the unregulated Texas natural gas market and commodity surge in the 70s and became a dominant force in the energy industry. They ran out of luck, though, because gas prices started rising, and then there was a Natural Gas Policy Act of 78, so the Texas market was less profitable. Eventually, in 84, the third CEO, Kenneth Lay, succeeded Matthews and inherited the company. Now, InterNorth was a target of a ton of corporate takeovers. The CEO wanted a friendly merger, though, with Houston Natural Gas, HNG, and it was acquired for $2.3 billion, which was 40% higher than the market price. The combined assets of the two companies created the second largest gas pipeline system in the U.S. at that time, and InterNorth's north-south pipelines served Iowa and Minnesota, and HNG's Florida and California east-west pipelines, and everywhere in between. So, in terms of their business model, their vision, Enron initially focused on owning and operating natural gas pipelines. Buy them all up. Get them all. We want them all. Rah. But Kenneth Lay envisioned transforming it into a comprehensive energy company with a strong emphasis on trading and energy services. So, of course, with that, there is expansion and innovation because you can't just do the same things over and over again. So the energy industry underwent significant deregulation in the 80s and 90s, allowing companies to compete in new markets and develop innovative financial products. Enron leveraged these opportunities to expand beyond traditional energy operations. So one of the things that they did was create Enron Online, which happened in 1999, and it was groundbreaking, and it was an electronic trading platform that revolutionized energy trading. And that platform allowed Enron to conduct transactions directly with clients, increasing efficiency, transparency, so we thought. And then Enron ventured into other various sectors like water services, broadband, international markets. And their broadband unit aimed to deliver high-speed internet infrastructure, but it never reached profitability. So we all had to sit there watching each line load of a picture that you probably shouldn't be looking for online. And then your parents come right at the wrong time. And then, I'm not speaking from experience. So revenue.
Do you need to unpack some trauma real quick? Because that really sounded like some trauma.
There's no trauma. I made that up as I went.
Okay.
So by the late 1990s, Enron's reported revenues skyrocketed, and they reached over $100 billion in 2000. I did say 1999. Yes. Enron's aggressive expansion and strategic acquisitions made it a dominant player in the energy market. Enron used complex financial arrangements, including special purpose entities, SPEs, to manage risk and boost its financial statements. And these structures were designed to hedge investments and improve perceived financial health. Perceived financial health, not actual financial health. Perceived. That's the thing. In terms of market perception and stock performance, Enron's perceived innovation and rapid growth led to a soaring stock price. Again, perceived, making it one of the most admired companies on Wall Street. The company's shares reached a peak of $90.75 in August 2000. And we're going to take a pause there to talk about some of the key administrative officers of Enron. So, Kenneth Lay was the founder, chairman, and CEO of Enron. He was born in Texas County, Missouri. His father was a Baptist preacher. He grew up in poverty after the family's general store failed. His family moved to Columbia, Missouri, and he eventually studied economics at the University of Missouri. He worked at, I still don't believe this is a real name, but the company's name was Humble Oil.
That's a real name. There's an Humble, Texas.
I believe,
and it's not humble, it's humble.
So even though it has an H?
The H is silent. It's not like humble. It's humble. Humble, Texas.
Hook it on Pahonix, work it for Texas.
It's outside of
Humble
the
Oil.
Woodlands and before Conroe.
She said with a hair flip. But
In
he
New
worked
Year.
at Humble Oil, as an economist, and then entered the officer candidate school for the U.S. Navy in 1968. Just seems like a reasonable change. From 68 to 71, he rose to lieutenant and was special assistant to the Navy comptroller and financial analyst at the office, at their office in the Pentagon. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
I'm like, that's impressive.
Yeah. He ultimately ended up getting a PhD in economics, and he served in the U.S. government as Undersecretary for Energy before becoming CEO of Houston Natural Gas, and then Enron formed in 1985. In terms of his role, Lay was the driving force behind Enron's transformation from a pipeline company into a global energy powerhouse. He championed the company's aggressive growth strategy and embraced the use of innovative financial practices. But because of everything that happened, Lay was indicted on charges of fraud and conspiracy in 2004. And then he was found guilty in 2006, but he died from a heart attack before sentencing.
Lucky dude.
So. Then there's Jeffrey Skilling, who was the president and COO, later CEO. Jeffrey Keith Skilling was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, November 25th, 1953, the second of 4 children of Betty and Thomas. His dad's name is Thomas Ethelbert Skilling Jr. I don't know this middle name. I've never heard of Ethelbert as a middle name, but here we are. Perhaps it's his mom and dad's name put together, Ethelbert. Jeff's father was a sales manager for an Illinois valve company. He attended Harvard Business School. According to Skilling, during his admissions interview for Harvard Business School, he was asked if he was smart, to which he replied, "I'm fucking smart."
He's not just smart. He's fucking smart.
He's
okay.
Fucking smart. Well, apparently then it impressed the interviewer so much that it secured his place at the school. And honestly, he probably wasn't wrong. He earned his MBA from Harvard Business in '79. He graduated in the top 5% of his class as a Baker Scholar. So, smart dude. After graduation, he became a consultant at McKinsey & Company in the energy and chemical consulting practices. He eventually became one of the youngest partners in the history of McKinsey. Let's see. He joined Enron in '90 as chairman and CEO of Enron Finance Corp. And then he was promoted to president and COO in '97 and then CEO in '01. He was the key architect of Enron's trading operations and was instrumental in developing the company's market-to-market accounting strategy. His vision of transforming Enron into a dominant energy trading company was pivotal to its growth. Now, in terms of his downfall, he resigned from Enron August of '01, citing personal reasons. He was later convicted on charges of fraud, conspiracy, and insider trading in '06, receiving a 24-year prison sentence, which was later reduced to 14. So he's out, assuming he's alive. I just looked for their downfall. I didn't go past that. I didn't think it was worth it. They screwed a lot of people over. So
They did.
Yeah. Andrew Fastow was a chief financial officer. He was born in D.C., grew up in New Providence. He was the son of a middle-class Jewish parents, Carl and Joan Fastow, who worked in retail and merchandising. He graduated from Tufts in '83 with a BA in economics and Chinese. He joined Enron in '90, became the CFO in '98, held an MBA from Northwestern University. He was the mastermind behind Enron's complex financial structures, including the creation of special purpose entities used to hide debt and inflate earnings. And his financial maneuvers played a significant role in the perceived profitability that they had. He was indicted on 78 counts of fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy in '02. He pled guilty to 2 counts of conspiracy in '04 and was sentenced to a grand total of 6 years in prison.
Yeah. I'm going to just say it right now. There is a lot of people in Texas and probably all over the world or all over the U.S. who are pissed about that because they screwed a lot of people over.
Yes.
And not in a good way.
Here's the thing. Anybody else on 78 counts and they took a plea deal of 2? I mean,
well,
you've
got to think of all of the money that oil and gas contributes to district attorneys running, politicians running, judges. I mean, there's a lot of money and you're in that society. And yeah.
So, at a certain point, though, it becomes, nowadays we don't really mind saying or doing stupid shit in grandiose and big crowds in public, but 78 counts reduced to, I'm wondering, and I should have looked this up, but I'm just thinking about it now. I'm wondering if he was the first one they found and said, you provide us this information to put other people away and we will reduce this. And so I'm wondering if he had the info.
I don't think so, but you know what? I will give it a Goog while you're looking.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll move on to the next one as you Goog that up. Rebecca Mark was the CEO of Enron International and Azurix. Rebecca Rebecca Mark. That's not. Hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. Hold the phone.
He did not turn evidence or anything, but he did agree to pay $42 million to a fund to compensate people.
I mean,
because he also cooperated. But it
There it
doesn't
is.
say that he turned any evidence. He just cooperated.
Cooperated. Okay, so I got confused. Rebecca was born in Kirksville, Missouri, grew up on a pig farm, attended William Jewell College in Liberty, Missouri for 2 years. She transferred to Baylor in Waco, where she received a BA in Psych in 76 and a master's degree in international management in 77. She was one of Enron's most prominent female executives, led their international business ventures, played a critical role in its global expansion. She spearheaded Enron's push into international markets, like I said. That included power plants in India and South America, later headed Azurix, which was Enron's water subsidiary, which faced financial difficulties. She resigned in 2000 following the failure of Azurix and left Enron before the scandal broke. She sold her Enron shares before the company's collapse, avoiding the financial losses of many of the other folks.
Now, and maybe you're going to get to this. Are you going to get to how they got caught?
Yeah. There's going to be a unraveling. If I miss something, holler at me.
Only if you give me $20.
The last. Oh, right. 35 cents. That's all I got. So the last person was Lou Pai, and he was the CEO of Enron Energy Services and Enron Accelerator. Born in Nanjing, China, and came to the U.S. at the age of 2. Pai obtained both BS and MS in economics from the University of Maryland, College Park. His father was an aeronautics professor there. He worked for the federal government, primarily in the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in the 70s before joining Enron. Was one of Enron's earliest employees, joining in 87. He played various roles in the company. He was instrumental in developing Enron's retail energy business and technology ventures, and he was known for his hands-off management style. Left Enron in 2001. He cashed out approximately $250 million in Enron stock before the company's collapse, which he came out as financially unscathed. So here we are. I do need that for sure. So in terms of their downfall, Enron's use of mark-to-market accounting allowed it to record projected profits on long-term contracts as current income, regardless of what the cash flow was. Because of that, it inflated their revenue and created a misleading financial picture. Ultimately, the accounting practices inflated the company's revenues and hid debt in its subsidiaries. And the SEC, the credit rating agencies and investment banks, were also accused of negligence on top of this, and in some cases outright deception that enabled the fraud. So a lot of things were happening. They were faking the numbers that they didn't have to prove in the end, and that messed with the market, and yay. So we mentioned earlier special purpose entities, or SPEs. They are they're known as special purpose. They're also known as special purpose vehicles, but what they are separate legal entities that hold assets or liabilities, often to keep them off a parent company's balance sheet. So, you got a bunch of issues, you got a bunch of debts, go ahead and toss them over on this SPV or SPE, and that way it doesn't show up in your actual company's stuff, which I wish I could do with my finances.
I know. Why can't we do that with our personal finances?
Right? They'd find us before we even filed. But these folks get away with it. So, like I mentioned, Enron used these to hide debt, toxic assets, troubled operations from investors and creditors. And a lot of what would happen was they'd use these SPE transactions and when they transferred some of their rising stock to the in the exchange for cash. So they'd move that into the SPE, and then the SPE would use the stock to hedge an asset on Enron's balance sheet, and then Enron would guarantee its value. So that kept the assets off their books, making their losses appear less severe. It's just insane. Now, SPEs, they're not
Creative
illegal.
accounting.
It is
Creative
very
accounting.
creative. Enron's use of them differed from standard debt securitization in many ways. So like I said, SPE is not illegal, but Enron created 4 SPEs called Raptors that were supposed to be independent entities, but some say they were not sufficiently independent from Enron, and as a result, Enron overstated their earnings. Now, let's talk briefly about a fella named Arthur Anderson.
Oh God.
So, well, really, it's their accounting firm. So Arthur Anderson was Enron's accounting firm, and they were accused of applying reckless standards in their audits because of a conflict of interest over the significant consulting fees generated by Enron. During 2000, Anderson earned $25 million in audit fees and $27 million in consulting fees, which accounted for 27% of the audit fees of the public clients of Anderson's Houston office. That is huge.
That's huge.
They
They owned them.
The auditor's
Let's
method.
just be honest.
Oh, for sure. The auditor's methods were questioned as either being completely solely to receive its annual fees or for its lack of expertise in properly reviewing Enron's revenue recognition, special entities, derivatives, etc. They ultimately played a critical role in the scandal, and the firm approved Enron's accounting practices despite red flags, which led to questions about their independence and effectiveness. So, yeah, right. What had happened was, now, Sharon Watkins was an Enron vice president, and she wrote a confidential memo to Kenneth Lay in August of 2001. And in this memo, she warned him of accounting irregularities and potential financial ruin. And as rich people are wont to do, because they are staying rich, her concerns were dismissed.
Yep.
However, in 2001, investigative journalists began exposing Enron's financial practices. Articles in Wall Street Journal and other outlets raised questions about the company's true financial health. What's really going on in there? And then the SEC launched an investigation into Enron's accounting practices, uncovering widespread fraud and financial manipulation. And then Congress, man, when Congress calls you to hold a hearing, you know you're effed. Maybe, unless you're like Facebook or Twitter or, Congress also, so they held hearings to investigate the collapse and their implications. So, did you have something different or a story?
Nope.
No, okay.
That's what I wanted to know if you were going to talk about her.
Yeah. So, in terms of what happened, can be summed up into collapse and bankruptcy. The stock price plummeted as the news of the investigations became public, just like CrowdStrike. Investor confidence waned. I don't know. When the whole CrowdStrike thing happened on Friday, I was like, I need to check. I'm not even a stock person. I don't know the first thing. But I know when shit happens, shit goes down. And I was looking, and it was just like, it was like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Just drop. So confidence waned. Their stock fell from $90 per share in mid 2000 to less than $1 by November of 2001, which is buck wild. Enron then had an inability to access credit, and its mounting debts led to a liquidity. Man, a crisis.
Liquidity?
Yeah, that's it. Those smart words. Why am I doing math? Whatever.
Because you're good at it.
I'm not. The company was forced to restate earnings, revealing that it had overstated profits. It had overstated profits by nearly $600 million from 97 to 2000.
I mean, we're not talking
December
a little bit of fudging. We're talking about
No.
blatant Massive.
Not a little fudging. It's the Willy Wonka of fudging. Like,
Yeah.
it's the whole damn factory of fudging. And so they filed on December 2nd, 2001. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, marking the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history at that time, with $63.4 billion in assets. And the collapse devastated employees, shareholders, the broader energy market. It was terrible. Thousands of employees lost their jobs, their retirement savings. Much of their 401ks were invested in Enron stock.
Okay,
Shareholders, including institutional investors, suffered significant.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you realize $2 billion of employees' pensions and 401k were lost?
Yeah, I mean, but they didn't care.
Billion employees lost. It devastated so many people. Sorry, I just need to throw that out there because it's insane.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, shareholders, you bought stock, you're taking a risk. An employee, you're not taking a risk. You go to work every day. You do your job. You expect to get, your pension. Where a stockholder, you bought stock. You're playing roulette, give or take. These were employees, $2 billion.
Yeah, and if anybody's ever seen the movie Fun with Dick and Jane, there are a ton of references to Enron in that movie. So legal percussion. That's just a judge drumming on his notebook. Legal repercussions. Several top Enron executives were charged with fraud, insider trading, other offenses. And I'm just going to briefly go through it one more time. Kenneth Lay, convicted in 2006, died of heart attack before sentencing. Skilling, convicted of multiple counts of fraud and insider trading, sentenced to 24 years, reduced to 14. Fastow pled guilty to conspiracy charges, had 73 or 72, ended up pleading guilty to 2, served 6 years. And then Arthur Anderson was convicted of obstructing justice for shredding Enron-related documents. So not only did he fuck this up before, he fucked it up after. And he shredded the Enron-related documents. The conviction was later overturned by the Supreme Court, but the damage to his reputation to the company's reputation led to its collapse. I don't understand why it was overturned. I would have to look that up. That's not true. I know why it was overturned.
I was going to say, really? Come on now.
Right. There were legislative changes. You had the Sarbanes-Oxley. SOA, the Sarbanes. Yeah, thank you. Sarbanes-Oxley Act. I was trying to make it more complicated than it actually was. So in response to that and other corporate frauds, Congress passed this act in 2002. The law imposed stricter regulations on financial reporting and corporate governance, which included enhanced financial disclosures, internal controls, audit independence, whistleblower protections. There were also massive repercussions in the market. The Enron scandal eroded public trust in corporate governance. Who could we trust anymore? There was a huge impact on the energy market. It disrupted the whole thing. And then there was a cultural shift in corporate America due to it. Basically, it prompted companies to reevaluate their corporate cultures, ethical standards, emphasizing the importance of integrity and accountability. I don't think that stuck like it should have, but it did lead to that. So, overall, rise and fall of Enron, cautionary tale of corporate greed, fraud, and the failure of oversight mechanisms or lack thereof. Enron was innovative, but it was completely overshadowed by the unethical practices that ultimately led to its downfall. And it's a reminder of the consequences of unchecked corporate ambition and the vital role of regulation and oversight. I don't believe in so much regulation and oversight that you can't run a business, marijuana industry, but I mean, truly, but, there needs to be something or people like this get away with the shit that they do. So there's your Enron. Yikes. Yikes.
I'm glad you covered it because it's too close. It's too I would become a bunny boiler. Now, while you were talking, I decided to Google my guy and Enron to see if they had anything together. And guess what? Enron lavished
Mhm.
money on my guy and a whole bunch of other stuff.
My
So, are we
guy.
surprised? So,
Nope, but
Tom
that's a
DeLay.
good Tom DeLay. You know, every time you say Tom, I'm like, Blink 180. Oh,
Yeah, Tom DeLay.
it's
So, I
not.
didn't even think about that when you picked your case and I picked my case.
Mhm.
But Tom DeLay did some good things and he did a whole lot of bad things. He was born in 1947 in Laredo, Texas. And for
Laredo.
people who don't know him, he was a prominent figure in American politics. He served as a member of the United States House of Representatives and as the House Majority Leader. So
Wow.
now, despite all of his influential political career, his legacy went down in flames. Okay. Now, before I get into my case, I want to tell you my personal experience with Tom DeLay. And no, I did not meet
Wait,
him.
well, hold
And
on.
no, I did not meet him, did not sleep with him. Let's just put that out there. So I was
Listen,
he had
you're setting yourself up for future questions. I am
I
not
know.
doing this.
I'm going to give the answers right now. So George W. Bush was governor of Texas and went on, as we know, to become president. Back, I'd have to look to see what year, but I was chosen as one of the small business women of the year and invited to the White House. Tom DeLay led that group who helped
Of course.
pick those individuals. So,
Well,
and when I declined that I couldn't go to the White House, I was a single mom, and they invite you, but you still have to pay your own airfare and hotel, and they just pay for your dinner that night at the award ceremony. You have to pay for everything else. And it's highly
That's-
advised that you donate to Tom's
of course.
campaign fund, his PAC fund.
It's
Not
like
his PAC fund.
it's like when they call saying we want to add you to the who's who of whatever, when they're just looking for your info.
Yeah,
Some
pretty
BS.
much. But the award was real. Even if you didn't go, you got it. I got my name put in the Wall Street Journal, got all this stuff done. It was cool. But my first, like I said, I saw his name on it. I didn't think anything of it. But then all of a sudden, I started getting constant phone calls, constant emails asking, to donate money or they could help me grow my business. Because at that time, I did do 10% of the business. We helped people coming straight out of prison find jobs. So they offered to help me get tax breaks to do some things. And later, I was so glad that I said, yeah, that just sounds weird to me because I don't do gas math. But that was, my thing. Because if I would have done it, I can't help but wonder, would I have been caught up in what I'm getting ready to tell you about? Because it's sad. So now we're going to dive into the intricacies. I've had way too much wine already of Tom DeLay's financial crimes. He began his political career in 1978 when I was a sweet little 8-year-old girl when he was elected into the House of Texas Representatives. Now, what's interesting, he was born in Texas, but Tom spent a good portion of his childhood in Venezuela because his dad was in the oil and gas business and was over in Venezuela working. Hello. But he did attend high school in Texas, and then he went on to Baylor University for 2 years before he got kicked out for drinking and for painting the Baylor colors on a building at Texas A&M University. For those of you that don't know, Baylor is a Baptist college, and you shouldn't be drinking.
Honestly,
and you shouldn't be
not even
vandalizing.
mad. Kind of impressed.
So, like I said, I'm guessing that drinking and vandalism wasn't something Baylor wanted
Terry.
on their book. So they said, you gotta go.
Terry,
Lo and behold, what?
boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
Well, that's why he went to the University of Houston and he got his degree there because they understood boys will be boys. They got it, right? Yeah. So now I am not saying spray painting. I mean, we know. I mean, between Texas universities, they've stolen mascots. They've done all of these things. I'm assuming when
I find
he
it
painted,
personally reprehensible.
I agree. I'm just thinking he didn't use chalk paint when he painted the colors on the Texas A&M University. I'm guessing they just couldn't take a water hose and wash it off, which
If
is
you're
what
gonna
you
do
should
it,
do.
do it right.
Gig 'em. So anyway, after college,
That sounds dirty. It
That does
sounds
sound
dirty. I feel like I'd have to do it in private before in public.
so this part is going to crack you up. He purchased a pest control company. Guess you know the little pest. So, and he was able to grow this company. During the 11 years, though, that he owned this business, the IRS imposed 3 different tax liens for him not paying payroll and income tax. 3. I owned a business, and I can tell you, never had that happen. And I want to know, guys, how was this not a red flag for him to become a politician?
I'm not going to answer that question because it's going to cause problems. I'll just let it go.
But this was back in 78. This was back. I mean,
Maybe
back
that's why.
then.
Maybe that's how.
Now, Tom DeLay is often referred to as the Hammer for his aggressive political tactics. And he was a key player in the Republican Party during the 1990s and early 2000s. But like I said, he faced a significant downfall due to the allegations of money laundering and illegal campaign finance activities. So, he served in the Texas House of Representatives from 79 to 84. Then he moved to the United States House of Representatives, representing Texas' 22nd congressional district. But guys, he quickly ascended the ranks. He became the House Majority Whip in 95. And he became the House Majority Leader in 2002. I mean, he went from pest control boy all the way up to the House Majority Leader, like boom, bang, bomb. I mean, he just. So, what?
I don't know.
What you got?
I just, nothing good, really. I mean, it's just amazing how it works out for some people.
I mean, karma does catch you because in 2005, he was indicted on charges of conspiracy to violate election laws, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. So most of the allegations centered around DeLay's involvement with the Texans for a Republican majority. It was the TRM PAC that was a political action committee he helped establish. Remember what I mentioned about that pact that he wanted me to donate money to? That's it. So anyway.
Oh, man. Karma is patient. God, karma is kind.
Didn't. So it basically said that TRM PAC illegally funneled corporate money into Texas state legislative races. And based on the indictment, DeLay and his associates solicited corporate donations, which were then laundered through the Republican National Committee and used to support Republican candidates in Texas, which, guys, violates Texas state law, which prohibits the use of corporate funds in state political campaigns. Guys, I was young and stupid. If I would have had the money, I mean, we had money in the company, but I was very, strict with where we spent money. What if I would have done that and not known it was illegal? Would they have taken my business?
I don't think so. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean,
it just makes me like that. But an arrest warrant was issued on October 19th, 2005. And guess what, guys? Tom turned himself in the next day to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. See, that's the problem with Harris County. They are just waiting on Addison Guerrera and Matt Brewer to walk in and turn themselves in and say what happened to Chase. They don't want to go out and look for him. They just want you to turn in.
Did they run out of gas? Can they not take their cars and take their butts over there to get them themselves? Like,
they don't have, they have the right to not incriminate themselves, right?
Yeah, get a fucking Tesla. I don't care. Plug it in, bitch. Go get them.
I agree, but I don't know if Matt can afford an electric vehicle and Addison's balls are too small to go with an electric vehicle.
I meant Harrison County. Like, do you not have the gas to drive over to get them yourselves?
No, because then they would have to do their job. They want to sit and wait and come to me.
Oh, well, there it is.
That's the whole thing. They don't want to get out. Why? I mean,
right.
They're in the air conditioning. If they go outside, it's hot and humid in Houston, and there's bugs. So, but the legal battle that went on was protracted and highly publicized. DeLay initially stepped down from his leadership position, but maintained his innocence throughout the proceedings. In 2010, okay, remember when he was arrested? 2005. In 2010, after a lengthy trial, DeLay was found guilty of money laundering and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Guess how long he was sentenced to prison?
Time served.
3 years in prison and 10 years probation. However,
early, didn't he?
In 2013, the Texas Court of Appeals overturned his conviction, citing insufficient evidence.
What? Gasps
and you
in Spanish.
Stay out while you're on appeal, right? So, is anyone surprised by this?
No, not at all. Not in the slightest.
So, now here's the other thing. Tom DeLay was a huge critic of Cuban leader Fidel Castro, and he was a big supporter of a trade embargo against Cuba. But guys,
that's a choice.
In July 2003, on a trip, Tom was seen smoking a Cuban cigar, which was not illegal since he was not in the U.S. at the time. But hello, you say that Cuba cannot do this, and you're all against Cuba, but you're smoking their cigars? You're either with them or against them.
Did he go on the trip? Did he go on the trip during a hurricane or an ice storm? Because typically that's when your reps go on a trip. Okay.
Yeah, that's how our current representatives do it. But I'm sorry, guys. That would be like me saying I don't like Napa, and yet me drinking Napa wines. If I say I'm against Napa, it means I need to drink wines from New Zealand, Oregon, Sonoma. I need to avoid Napa. Just like I said, I didn't want to sign us up for a professional Twitter because why would I put money in Elon Musk's wallet? Tom DeLay is against Fidel Castro, but you put money in his wallet. I'm going to just tell you guys, I don't get it, and we're not going to go there. So his case highlighted significant issues in campaign finance laws and the enforcement of the regulations, kind of like with Enron. There needs to be checks and balance. No, they do not need to have their finger in every piece of the pie, but you should test the pie to make sure the pie is good and that the pie doesn't have glass in it.
There's no good thing in that analogy that I thought of. That analogy is it's the weirdest one ever.
You don't think they should put their finger in the pie?
Girl, if it ain't their pie, no. Don't go around to your neighbor's windowsill sticking fingers in other people's pies. At least ask first.
If you don't taste the pie, how do you know if they shat in the pie? Or if they put
that
glass
opens a
in the
whole
pie?
nother conversation that we don't want to have here on this show.
So anyway, this scandal underscored the need for stricter oversight and clearer guidelines regarding the use of corporate funds in political campaigns without the pie. Now, Tom's actions and the subsequent legal proceedings also brought attention to the broader issue of political corruption and the influence of money in politics. And I am just going to go on record without getting political. Nothing's changed. It may have highlighted it, but ain't nothing changed. So we're just going to keep moving on. So after leaving politics, Tom participated on Dancing with the Stars. And during his rounds to promote his appearance on the reality show, Tom was not shy about telling everyone who would listen that Barack Obama was not a U.S. citizen and gave a voice to the whole birther conspiracy. I mean, guys, what a tool. You got kicked out. You had all of this problem, and you want to go on national TV announcing that you can dance maybe or be trained to dance like a mouse, but you want to talk and say someone's not a U.S. citizen. I mean, what a tool this guy is. Right?
Yeah. Yes. The only reason he did dancing was probably to push himself back into the spotlight, pull that.
And he needed money. But another interesting thing I found about Tom was that he was a playboy during his political days, and his other nickname was Hot Tub Tom.
Ooh, that didn't age well, did it?
He was said to love partying, and he would consume 8 to 12 martinis a night. That's a
your
lot of
liver
martinis.
would like to have a word with you.
I mean, 2, and I'm done.
I mean, at this point, his liver is a fish tank filter. Like
now,
Jesus.
I will say, in 1985, Tom became a born-again Christian, and he gave up hard liquor. So I want to ask you guys, does that mean he could still drink beer and wine?
Well, it depends. I don't really consider any liquor hard liquor unless you're hit with the bottle.
Well, but hard liquor vodka for martinis. So now he can still drink beer and wine, because my understanding is if you're an alcoholic, it's all alcohol. You shouldn't drink it.
My understanding from the reports of people who were with him was that when liquor was consumed, nothing was hard. So
next time, did you give me a notice before you say that? And it just went down the wrong tube. Yeah, nothing was hard. That was hard. No. But like I said, he became a born-again Christian. Now, he was also one of the leaders who tried to impeach Bill Clinton. And then he publicly shamed Newt Gingrich,
Newt. Yeah.
And Bill Clinton for their extramarital affairs and once said it was okay for him to judge them is he was no longer committing adultery and he had returned to Christ and repented.
Pot, meet kettle. Even if that pot is wearing a cross necklace, meet
Okay.
fucking kettle.
Let me tell you what my next line says. Excuse me, Tom, you're the pot calling the kettle black. Because I'm sorry, guys. You do not have the right to judge others when you've committed the same sin. That would be like me saying, oh my God, people who get divorced are awful. Hello, I've been divorced twice. Oh, but that was in the past. It's okay. I'm not divorced currently.
Yeah, and the Unabomber killed a bunch of people in the past, so he's fine now. Let's let him out. He's dead, but let's you know what I mean. Like, let's just let him go. You know?
Yeah. Well,
Wait, is he dead? I don't know.
On the upside,
Yeah, he's
Tom
dead.
DeLay
He's
is
right.
still alive, still married,
Of course.
still living in the Houston metro area.
You should go find him and interview him, and avoid his hot tub, but give him a lot of hard liquor first.
Ooh. Well, my question is, and this is my probing question, because he was part of the.
Is it into a pie?
Ooh. Maybe he does put it in the pie. Okay. I just want to know if all of that time in the hot tub caused any lasting shrinkage. Because if you do it too often,
I was in the pool.
But in the hot tub, that's a lot of water. It looks like a raisin, right?
I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna give this a response.
Okay. Well, like I said, also Tom DeLay's former chief of staff also was one of the people that Enron gave sizable donations to.
Yep.
Almost
Yep.
$50,000 from just Kenneth Lay. And Joseph Sutton gave $25,000.
Kenneth Lay and Tom DeLay.
I know. Isn't that great? So they had a natural alliance. Mr. DeLay was called dereg by some because of his support of business. And in Congress, he has been a longtime proponent of energy deregulation, which was very important to Enron.
Cha-cha-cha-cha-ching.
So they were both just naughty.
That is incredible that we picked separately two cases that completely that's you know what? It's gross. The term is gross.
And you know what makes it gross for me? I was born and raised in Texas. I love my state. But I was talking to a family member who's going to be on the midday missing, who's got a missing sister. And we both agreed. Texas currently is on meth, but they've been hitting the crack pipe for several years. And now they've moved on to the harder stuff.
I think Florida is more meth. I think Texas is more unregulated or laced coke.
It's true, because they can afford the coke and all the oil and gas.
Well, and they just make so many changes so fast they don't even think about the things. And so I'm going with Florida's meth, Texas's coke. I
will take it.
I don't know. Yeah,
I will take it as long as they do me a favor. Do not put it on our water supply, because our sharks and dogs and cats and fish do not need to have coke in them. I'm just going to be honest.
Panama.
And look, I'm going to see how many pairs I can put on at once. Uh-oh, with my headphones, I don't know if I can get very many more on.
Oh.
My other 3 are over on the wall. That is all I can get on.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
I'm impressed. And that's all I got.
Well, I find it gross, but also now I know a lot more.
And I am going to just remind everybody, please don't be a cuntosaurus. Don't. And if anybody wants one of these, just let me know. And I'm sure I could ask my friend to make you some. But
oh my gosh, new merch.
That's all I got until my sparkle puss comes in. Now, speaking of sharks, real quick, has anyone seen Under Paris? If you haven't, I'm going to say go watch it on Netflix, especially with the Olympics getting ready to start. It's about sharks in the Saint River.
Is it a documentary or is it like...
No, it's a fiction story, but it's really great considering they're getting ready to have the Olympics. And it's the reason the mayor in Paris went swimming in the Saint because of that movie.
To prove that it was safe.
So if you need to go see it. Now, it's on Netflix and it's free, but I will tell you, it really shows you some things about sharks, and it might explain how the sharks are all pregnant. Maybe it's the cocaine.
Well, I will check that out. Maybe we'll stream it on Courtyard. Speaking of, come join us in the Courtyard. We're doing a lot of fun stuff, including we're going to stream the big things, the big Olympic events. And if you want smaller events streamed, let us know. A lot of good stuff happening there. So check it out.
Can I put in a special request that we live stream the movie when I'm actually around and can watch it? Because the whole murder mystery things, I got to do one. This month I was in Napa. Next month, I think I'm in. I've got a friend coming. So we're going to have guests here. But I know it's not all about me, but could we maybe check my schedule, please?
Yes.
Under Paris is what it's called. Yes, Angie. Under Paris. And I just want to remind everybody, look next Friday on our YouTube channel. We will have all of our August live shows and productions posted so that you can see them. And we're not going to say whose face you're going to see or if you're going to see both of us. We're just going to keep it interesting.
Yee! And mods, if because a few of or all of you are here, we'll get you a calendar. We'll get you a thing so that you can see it and have it. Because the further ahead you know, the better.
Yes. So. And the other special thing about Midday Missing, the next 2 Wednesdays, I have special guests coming on who are the loved ones of missing. And I'm very excited about that because as I was telling one of them, they can tell the story so much better than I can. So I am honored that they are willing to come on and do that. So the next 2 Wednesdays, we will have family members on Midday Missing.
Sweet. So tune in. All right. Well, I'm going to close and then you close.
Absolutely.
Take care of yourself, your friends, your family, and your community. Don't let anybody dull your sparkle and shine on, you crazy diamonds.
And I am going to say once again, thank you to Jam Sellers because this is really good. And I want to say, please stay safe. Watch out for crime, guys. Enjoy your wine time. But I'm going to add a little extra. enjoy your loved ones. Give those closest to you hugs, because unfortunately, in the blink of an eye, I'm learning that life can change. And that doesn't just mean they pass away. They truly disappear. So please keep that in mind, and everyone stay safe.
Bye,
Toodles.
everybody.